All right. Should I go ahead and start sharing my screen with the presentation and we'll get started?
Sure. Yeah. I was just going to remind everybody, if you are to check your chat and make sure that it is the pull down menu where it says everyone. That way, if you have any questions or comments, it'll go to everyone. And I'm going to let Sam and PJ introduce themselves because they know themselves better than I do. So I've just met them this morning. So, and then let them head into the presentation. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I will just put them in the chat. Would you guys like to stop as we go through, like if there are questions, or would you rather wait till the end to?
What do you want to do, Sam? I don't care either way, whatever's easier for everybody,
Yeah, I guess we could wait till the end. It might be easier that way.
Okay. Yeah.
There's probably some questions that come up that we'll cover later in the presentation.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But anyway, my name's Sam Gilmore. I'm with the Treasurer of State's office with the Education Scholarship Account Program. I'm the External Communications Coordinator, so a lot of what I do is work with providers to kind of help get them on board and explain the program to them, and doing a lot of like outreach and marketing type stuff. PJ, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm PJ Vaught. I am the Community Outreach Manager for the Indiana Education Scholarship Account. And basically my job, I get to go around the state setting up at disability resource fairs and other events, and also, talking about the education scholarship account to families, to parents, to vendors, to you name it, anybody that will listen to me, basically. And then also what I'll do a lot is I will do a lot of contacting of therapists, tutors, educational camps, people who give lessons, schools, and try to talk to them about the scholarship account and get them to come into it and register as providers so that our scholarship recipients can pay for those things with their scholarship dollars.
Awesome. So with that, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen and we'll kick off the presentation. Let me get it.
So for those who don't know, I mean, the scholarship account really the legislation was passed in 2021 by the Indiana State Legislature. It sets aside $10 million a year for students who are special needs, and basically it allows them to get more enrichment or education than they would get otherwise in the settings that they're in now. Sam, would you like to cover this first slide?
Yeah, not a problem. So really, like PJ mentioned, the idea of the program is to expand education options for K through 12 Hoosier students who have a disability and income at or below the qualification level. And so really the idea is, public school is great for a lot of kids, but for students who have special needs, sometimes they need some additional support that they just can't get in the public school. So the idea with the ESA program is to take that money they would have spent at the public school and just give it to the parents in an ESA account that they can control to send their kids to private school, to home education, and then they can pick and choose from our wide variety of providers with different therapies, tutorings, camps, just a whole bunch of enrichment things to really get our students educated the way they need to be.
Yeah. All right, so the checklist is the student has to be a resident of the state of Indiana. They got to be between the ages of 5 and 22 years old who have not yet graduated from high school. They obviously have to have a disability and require special education. So they'll need an IEP or an SP learning plan, or something new called the ESA SP learning plan that's good for 3 years. They've got to meet the income requirement, which we'll show that in which is very easy to meet. And we'll show that in a slide coming up. Then they also have to complete the applicable state testing.
Yeah. And I'll just add kind of some of the documentation that we require. So for example, for a resident of Indiana, when students apply or when families apply, we'll ask to see, a bill to their address or something what am I thinking of? like a utility bill or something like that to prove they're a resident. For K through 12, grade level ages 5 through 22, we'll ask to see the child's birth certificate. For the disability, like PJ mentioned, we'll want to see the IEP or the SP or the ESA service plan. And then the income requirement is the parent's most recent 1040 or pay stubs, and then the state testing piece as well. But moving forward, kind of like PJ mentioned, this is the income levels for 2024 and 25.
Yeah.
So for example, like a family of 4, they would have to be at or below the income of $230,880, which that's most of us. And if you're over that, then that's a good problem to have.
It really is. I mean, a single parent, it's 111,000, 444,000. It's that or below that, and you qualify. Family of 4, obviously, that's kind of a sweet spot there. $230,000 or less of household income. Very easy for most of us to hit.
All right, and so this slide kind of talks about how we calculate a student's award amount. So the student award amount is made up of 2 different pots of money. On the left here, you can see the first pot of money is the special education service levels. So this is based on the student's level of disability. So you can see kind of on the left side in the orange box, these are the severe disabilities. And so these will be award amounts of $11,659. In the middle, there's the mild and moderate disabilities for about 3,000, and then in the green, the level 3 disabilities is about $500. So students can be diagnosed with either a level 1 and a level 3, or a level 2 and a 3, but they can't have a level 1 and a level 2.
Right.
So depending on what the student's disability is, which we get in their IEP, that will inform, how much special education service money they'll receive. And then on the right side, the other pot of money is the state tuition support levels, which is the ADM money. And that's just based on what school district the student lives in. And that can range anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000.
Yeah. So really what the kids are looking at is they're looking anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000 a year, depending on the level of disability. And that's a good amount of funds to be bringing to any school, and it'll get the things that the children need. Now, on this one, this is an example of how it works. So ESA funds are just distributed to parents in class wallet, their class wallet account in 4 quarterly payments. So in this instance, say the child qualifies for $18,019 for the year. But we're going to say they're a Brownsburg resident. So they'll get $5,809 in state tuition support money. That's going to show up in October and in March. In the 2 October and March, that would be the state tuition support money. That's when those disbursements come. And the special education services, they're going to get, the child is, in this instance, is going to get $12,210. And in this instance, that money is going to be dropped $6,105 in January and $6,105 in the following May. And then for anything that's left over, the families may roll up to $1,000 of unused funds to the next year, and that occurs in June. So next slide, Sam.
Yep.
So here's a spend example. So let's say the child's got the $18,019. In October, we know they're going to get $2,904. In January, they're going to get a $6,105 disbursement. March, $2,904, and in May, $6,105 again. So in the first semester, tuition and fees is going to be $2,904.50. Child's going to get 10 tutoring sessions from a local tutor that will run $5,000 total. And then in the second semester, the tuition fees again will be $2,904.50. They're going to get their 10 tutoring sessions like they got the previous semester for $5,000. And in this time, they're going to spend $1,400 on a 4-week summer camp. So the total spend in this instance will be $7,209 total, which will leave a rollover amount of $810. And obviously this will vary for everybody depending on how much they qualify for in scholarship dollars. Sam, next.
Yep.
You deal with this all the time, Sam. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so Class Wallet is the online financial management platform that we use for the ESA program. So once a family is approved for an ESA, they will also establish a Class Wallet account. And so Class Wallet is where those disbursements will go into. So they will set up their Class Wallet account. They'll be able to see their wallet balance. And then in those four disbursement windows, they'll see funds added to their account that they're able to spend. And now ESA parents will use Class Wallet to pay the providers for the services provided for the student. So the way that works is after services have been provided to a parent, the provider will give that family an invoice. And then the family can just take that invoice, take a picture of it or scan it in with the scanner and upload it into Class Wallet. And they'll select the provider that provided the services from our list in Class Wallet of our approved providers. They'll put in how much it was for, and they'll send that off to the ESA account specialist team for us to review them. Now we'll review that, just make sure everything matches up. And then once, we say, okay, we'll approve it. And then within 7 days, that provider gets paid via the funds from your Class Wallet account. So it's super easy, super simple. And parents and providers have been, letting us know that it's a really easy to use system and that they like it. We also have a direct payment options for our schools. So they don't have to be issuing invoices for their tuition payments all the time. What we'll do is we'll set up the school on the back end. We'll make sure they get in connection with our operations manager, Dina Matthews, who will set them up to make sure that if schools want to, get paid for their tuition directly, we can set that up so that they don't have to be issuing invoices to all of their students.
Now, the nice thing too with this money is this does not affect the use of private insurance or Medicaid waivers. It literally is just another bucket of money to work out of. So, it's not going to hurt anybody and cause them to lose their Medicaid waiver or anything like that. And a lot of times we'll tell our families, look, use your Medicaid waiver and your private insurance first, and anything left over, plug in with ESA money. Just do that. Or if you don't have private insurance or Medicaid waiver, use all ESA money. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Sam?
No, that's about it for Class Wallet.
I would like to say this is something that we've really improved our performance on as an office. Our executive director really went the extra mile and reduced the time it takes for the vendor to get paid. Wasn't it up to about 45 days at one point, Sam? And when she got in, she made sure to trim that down.
It was a while. That was in our first year of the program. We've been around since 2022. In the first year, there was some delays in getting the payments out to providers, but since the last year and now moving into this year, that's been cut down to a week.
So we're really proud of that. We keep trying to get sharper and get better at what we do.
Definitely.
All right. So now, for students, the application window is open. It began on March 1st and it'll run until September 1st. There's $10 million set aside. It is first come, first serve. So go ahead and apply. If you don't have your IEP or SP learning plan yet, go ahead and apply anyway and get it in. And then, once you get the IEP or the SP or the ESA SP finished, then once that's uploaded, then you'll start receiving disbursements of funds. So now schools and service providers, they're allowed to apply year round. So I'm always working on getting new providers and new schools in to give our parents the most choice possible in their areas. And one of the things I would like to say is, as ESA parents, if your child does get in and you've got service providers and schools around you that are not participating yet, it's totally fine to let us know about some of those, and I'll get on the phone or I'll come visit them face to face to try to get them to register, which doesn't cost them anything, and that way you can spend your scholarship dollars there. Sam, you want to take this one?
Yep. So these are some frequently asked questions that we get asked a lot by parents. The main one is, can your child be enrolled in a public school and still receive an ESA scholarship? No, because like I mentioned before, the same money that would have went to the public school to pay for that child to attend there is really just redirected into the ESA account for the parents to be able to control. So if the parent or the student was an ESA student and also enrolled in a public school, they would essentially be getting double the funds. So that's why you can't be enrolled in a public school and also have an ESA scholarship. However, the law does allow for public schools to be ESA schools and come on and offer individual courses like biology or gym class or to testing. Now, granted, we don't have a lot of any public schools on board yet that want to participate like that. It is still a new program. It's new for the public schools, and that's why it's great for us to be able to do things like this to get the word out to families and just as many people to know about the program as possible. Because the more people that use the ESA and realize how successful it will be, that will allow us to be able to go to the public schools and get them on board to be able to kind of a la carte some classes like the law would allow for. The second frequently asked question we have here is, what's the difference between the choice program and the education scholarship account? Now, the choice program has been around a bit longer than us, but the main difference between the choice program and the ESA program is that the parent can control the money totally. So with the choice program, the special education services are provided at that private school, and the family doesn't really have the financial flexibility to get the special education services elsewhere. So with the ESA program, the big difference is that the parents control that money totally. So if they want to go to a private school but opt to have their special education services elsewhere, they can do that. If they want to go to the private school and still receive the special education services from the public school that's pushing in, they can do that. If they want to educate at home and keep all of their tuition dollars and keep all of their special education dollars in-house so that the parents can pick and choose what they want to do, they can do that as well. So really the big difference between choice and ESA is flexibility with ESA. And like PJ
the choice lies with the parent.
And like PJ mentioned before, if your child's current service provider is not an approved ESA provider, please contact us, and we'll do everything we can to reach out to those providers and get them on board, because it doesn't cost them anything, and it really is just a way for them to reach more students.
Yeah, we put them up. We give them free exposure on our portion of the state government website, and it doesn't cost them anything. So there's really no downside to them. Now, every so often, somebody will tell me to pound sand, but most of the time, providers and schools are generally glad to hear about the ESA.
Totally.
All right, success by the numbers. So this past year, 533 Hoosier students benefited from the scholarship account. They were getting up to $19,000, anywhere from $8,000 to $19,000 per student. And we're up to 500 plus providers serving ESA students. Now, just the year before last, we had maybe started out with about 100, Sam?
Yeah.
And then we had about 12 schools. Now we're up to about 75 schools, and we're probably closing in on 600 providers at the moment. But $10 million in scholarship money is allocated each year. So it is first come, first serve. So go ahead and put your applications in, those of you who are interested, and earmark your spot. Even if you don't have that IEP or SP yet, it's worth going to get. So start your application. And that's pretty much it. But we're having a lot of growth. We think this year will be over from anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 students. And I'm not going to be personally happy until we've got over 1,000 providers statewide, and at least 150 to 200 schools. Because once again, we all want, all of us in the ESA office want our students and families to have the most choice possible in finding the best care for the student.
Definitely. The only other thing I'll add here is The up to $19,000, that was last year's number.
Mhm.
And the award amounts have actually increased slightly since last year. So now I believe it's up to like $20,200. So it's a little over $20,000 is the max award amount for 2024. So
Yeah.
they're always with inflation and everything going on, they're always going to keep increasing the scholarship award. So that's just something to know. And with that, leads us to the end of our presentation. This is our website, in.gov/TOS/scholarship. That will bring you to the main Treasurer of State scholarship page. So there's actually two programs. There's the Education Scholarship Account Program and the Career Scholarship Account Program. So when you go to that link, you'll just have to click to the Education Scholarship Account Program, but then you'll get our website, which has just tons of information. It has all of the approved providers in the program on a spreadsheet. It has all the approved providers on a Google map that you can search through. We have a marketing toolkit with our logos and our brochures and our flyers, just a whole bunch of resources for anyone who's interested. But definitely we will make PJ and myself available for anyone at the library. If you guys have questions or, would like materials sent out or anything like that, we could definitely work with you to do that. But thank you for taking the time to let us present to you. And I'm not sure if there's some questions up here in the chat that we can get to.
But we'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, I'll
Best
pull
we
it up
can.
right
We don't
now.
have the answer, we'll find them.
All right. I see Kim Wright asked, how can parents who are already homeschooling certify that their child has a qualified disability? So you would have to go to the local education agency, the local public school that would serve your child, and request that they start an evaluation process for the IEP. Now, if you're asking about specific disabilities, so all disabilities, regardless of what the disability is, as long as the student has an IEP, they're eligible for the ESA program. So there's not a specific disability that would disqualify them. They just have to have the IEP or the SP or the ESA service plan. Jennifer.
I was just going to follow up with that. Does that mean that the public school pays for that testing, or do they have to give you part of the scholarship money to start that process and get them an IEP?
No, I don't believe they have to pay for it. It's a requirement. So all public schools, regardless of if a student who lives in their district attends the public school or not, they're required to do the assessment and give them the IEP. Now, some schools are a little, hesitant to do that because this, like I said, this is a new process, and I don't want to say that they're doing it out of, meanness or anything, but it might just be a new thing that they're not familiar with. But we have, contacts at the Department of Education in our office that we can make sure that if parents are struggling with the public school to get that document, that we can push the process along to make sure that they get it in a timely manner.
Yeah, per DOE, the local public school in that geographic area where the student is, they have to do that. That's their requirement. So
Jennifer Kerman asked, will we get a copy of these slides? Yeah, I can provide a copy of these slides to Cara after the presentation's over. And if you want to, she can send them out to you. Oh, she already answered that right there in the next.
I figured you'd share them.
And then Jennifer asked if there's a statewide provider list. Yes, if you go to our website and then navigate over to the resources page, you can find a spreadsheet of all of our approved providers, as well as the Google map that has all of them list all of their locations throughout the country, because there are providers that are out of state that provide virtual tutoring or virtual therapy services.
And here's something important to know. Like, I've been calling into Louisville and the Kentuckiana area and into Cincinnati and other areas along the kind of the border of Indiana and the other states. And I've been getting providers to sign up in those areas, even though they're out of state. So if you're living in a border area, just know you can spend your scholarship dollars outside of state lines as long as it's an approved ESA provider. So that's definitely okay. We've actually even got a karate dojo in Niles, Michigan, who specializes in lessons for special needs kids. And they're great. They're great.
I mean, yeah, we have such a wide variety of providers, like PJ mentioned, the martial arts. We have equine therapy, music therapy, art therapy, just a whole bunch of
therapy. Yeah.
Karen asked, is there a way to get an IEP without the public school? Not to my knowledge. I believe that's a document that they have to create for the student.
Yeah. There's also help, free help with IEPs through an organization called InSource, INSOURCE. They help with this. So if anybody needs the contact for that, just let us know and we'll send out that information.
Yeah, and I believe we have there's some contact information for InSource on our website.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, that's free help. There's no need to pay for that. So
Do you think it would be helpful to show them your website?
Yeah, I can show them the website real quick.
Sure.
Just kind of give them a little tour of the website.
Yeah, let me stop sharing real quick and
good idea, Kara.
website.
I see a question. Do you ever do talks to homeschool groups? I am more than happy as the outreach manager to talk to any homeschool group that would like to chat with us. So just let me know and we can do a Zoom meeting, or if needs be, I can actually come physically to your location and chat and talk and answer any questions.
All right, can you guys see the website okay?
Yes.
All right, so this is the ESA website. So this is once you if you scan that QR code or you go to the ina.gov/TOS/scholarships, you'll just need to click over to the ESA site. But then you'll reach this page right here. This is the home page. So we have a little video. This is a great video actually. So I would suggest you watch it. We actually went to one of our ESA schools and had one of our ESA families help us with filming this video. So it's a really great video. And we have some quotes from our ESA students and some ESA schools. But really what I want to show you guys off is the resources page. This is where you can find our approved schools list, our approved business and individual providers list, and then the approved providers map. So you can kind of scroll. The schools are in yellow, providers are in blue.
Sam, can you dial in on that map so we can see a little more detail?
Big clusters up in. Yeah, here, let me go here. I'll do this so you can see here in detail.
Can you go ahead and shut off your video camera as well, Samuel, because you're really starting to cut out now.
Yeah. So here's the approved providers map. And it's kind of hard sharing my screen and doing this with my little trackpad. So I'll stop there and just let you guys, if you want to go look at it, I would encourage you to go look at it. But here, there's additional resources. We have our marketing toolkit, which has, digital brochures, flyers, our logo, just a ton of resources to be able to spread the word. We have handbooks, guides, and, documents. And then here's all our staff. And then right here, you can find information for InSource. And then also I'll bring you over to the families page. And if you scroll down on the families page, we have a great list of FAQs for families. So a lot of questions that you might have, you probably could find an answer here, but don't hesitate to reach out to our office if you can't find information. We're more than happy to help you guys.
Yeah, we are very responsive. So that's good. Somebody was asking about summer camps. Sam, can you read that question?
Yeah. Could you elaborate on summer camps? Are they throughout the state? So it's, any business or, individual or, camp that wants to be a part of the program, they would just have to apply and be approved. So yeah, we have camps. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I know it's more than 2 or 3. I think there's, probably 3 to 5 camps that we have right now that I can think of. And they're just, throughout the state doing, outdoor activities, equine things. And, as long as the camp has an educational or therapeutic focus, they can be approved. So they would just need to get in contact with PJ or myself and start the application process.
If you know of a camp and they're not an ESA participant and a provider, send me the information. And if you can, a contact number for somebody in particular, and I'm happy to call them. And really, when we're talking about providers who aren't yet part of it, it's really good for you as parents to say, to talk to them and ask them to be registered as ESA providers so you can use scholarship dollars to attend. And then I call afterwards, and it's kind of a good 1-2 punch. And it really makes it a lot easier for us to get them to join. So, but
Definitely. And when the
ultimately, I'm
businesses
happy
know
to
they have,
call.
when the business knows they have a parent that has, money from the state that they want to spend there, that makes them kind of get the ball rolling.
It
to
really
get
does. I
approved
can tell a
request.
difference when I talk to them.
So that is the end of our presentation, and I don't see any more questions. So if anyone else has anything they want to ask, feel free. But like I said before, thank you guys for your time. It was great to present, and love being able to share information with other Hoosiers, especially the library. My girlfriend works at the West Indy Public Library, and I know
Oh.
PJ went there and did an information session, and we have some brochures there. So I love the library, and everyone who works there love librarians. So thank you guys so much for letting us present to you this morning.
Yeah,
I'm just
Sure.
glad we were able to get the word out.
absolutely. Kara, do you have any other questions or anything you'd like to know?
No, I think, just anything that we can do as far as spreading the word. And like Sam said, libraries are great. Librarians are great at sharing information. That's basically their job. So, the more information we can get out to libraries and that they can share with parents, I think that's going to be a great asset.
And if there are any homeschool groups out there that would like me to chat, take some time and meet with them, Zoom is super easy to do, or Microsoft Teams. But if you feel there's a need for me to come directly and visit face to face, I'm happy to do that in most all situations. But just let me know.
They are, the comments are saying that they'll definitely be sharing with homeschooling and private school patrons, and that they already have families in mind.
That's
share.
wonderful.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for doing this. Does anybody else have any, is there
Jennifer
contact
asked.
information on the website?
Yeah, if you go to the resources page of our website and scroll down, you'll be able to see all the contacts in our office. So Tina and Dina that's the executive director and the operations manager. So if you have any, serious questions or anything like that, maybe direct it towards them. But if you just want, information on how to apply, or, just any simple questions about the program, you can reach out to either PJ and myself for provider-based questions, and then Melissa and Faith, their account specialists, who deal with families on a daily basis. So any families that have questions, about IEPs or anything like that, you can direct it to either of those two. But if you just, shoot an email to any one of us, we'll be able to put you in the right spot to get an answer.
And you did say you have like promotional materials. Is that what you said? Things like on the website to print out, or
Yeah, so that's the marketing toolkit request form. So if they
Okay.
go and fill out that form, that'll give them access to the Google Drive, or where they'll be able to access all of those files. And definitely, if they reach out to our office, we can send them physical materials as well.
Okay.
As long as we have stock of them. I know we go through them kind of quick.
We do. We do.
Anybody else have any last minute questions for PJ or Sam?
Well, it's been a real pleasure.
Yes, thank you. I think that you'll probably, and they're saying thank you too, great information. So
Yeah.
thanks so much. And for librarians that are on, that have been watching, I will be sending out certificates to all of you. So keep an eye out for that. I'll follow up with PJ and Sam as far as, what was I going to follow? Oh, the slides. Maybe, to give maybe a copy of the slides to them, the librarians.
Yeah, Cara, if you want, once we hop off this presentation, I can just send you the PowerPoint, if that would work.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
Sounds
So,
good.
and I think, yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thanks for presenting. Enjoy the rest of your day.
That was great to meet everyone.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.